This is a very important post for me, not for everyone else necessarily. This is the 10th anniversary of the book I published, and I'll put the links below. For the Outcasters, a Society of Short Stories. This was my second published book. Now, this is my manuscript. Now, funny story. Um, so I had hard copies and soft copies. I can still order them if I need to from my publisher at Author House, but I gave the last one to a girl. She was very cute. She had just started college, fresh out of high school. Yes, I checked the ID and all that because you never know. With this Me Too movements and coaches getting arrested and stupid shit like that, you gotta check the ID. Sometimes they have forgeries, but whatever. But anyway, I met this freshman college girl who got out of high school, and I gave the book to her. We met at one of my volunteer efforts. I volunteered at a theater, and we were both ushers, and so I gave the book to her. So unfortunately, I can't really show you the original book that I had that I published, but I have the manuscript, and this manuscript is very old. It's been updated a couple of times, but this is the Outcasters, a Society of Short Stories by Maestro Drake, me. So yeah, I don't have those books anymore. I have one of the other book, the original book from 2007 that I published. And so what you're looking at here, there's a dedications, introduction, and let me see if I can get us down a little bit better so you can see the pages. Now, this is edited carefully to be, so when you go on Microsoft Word, you're obviously editing it to be like a, how shall I put it, a 8.5 by 11 format, so that it would be, all the text and everything would be wide to fit to page. However, I had to change the format for a 6 by 9 book. So I had changed the borders. Let me see if I have that. I can show you. Where is it? Margins. Ooh, it's in here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah. So you can see right there, all that stuff. That's my settings. 1.75, 1.75, 1.88. The gutter is 0.13. All this stuff is this is stuff for authors to know, but it's there to make the book fit into a 6 by 9. So something like The Family Corleone, Harry Potter, maybe, and like The Hunger Games, definitely, the Da Vinci Code, stuff like that. So that's how you fit the books in there. This is my table of contents, Rainbow Harmony, the McGoth Crew. The idea was to have an overall flowing storyline about the post-apocalypse. Now, I covered this with Grim Planet, Gray Patriarchy, and Green Pueblo, the books I have already shown about in my previous post here. Maybe I'll give a link to one or two of those so you can see what I'm talking about. This is like a first movement. So I got up to 700 pages, and that was the limit. But I had so much more story to tell. So these are just different characters, and we see the pre-apocalypse from their point of view. Every single character. I'm just going to go through these really quick because this is going to take a long time. Rainbow Haven. This is about the Rainbow Harmony characters. And I wanted to do so much more. I wanted to put so much more. The idea with 5 arms forming a circle on the cover was to show there's a togetherness, but they're separate. But it's just more symbolic. And it's a bit funny, the characters. Some of them are serious, some of them are funny. But it's basically one character speaking, another character speaking. And I kind of wanted to do it like a movie. And some people who read this, they never really said their opinion about the book, but most of them said that it goes by very fast. So this was released in November of 2011, and I had worked on other stuff. I was going to work on a sequel, but to publish this book takes money. You pay about $1,000 to publish the book, self-publish. Then what you have to do is you have to pay like hundreds of dollars in marketing to get the book out there. After a while, I lost confidence in this book. I just didn't feel it was going to really, I just didn't. I fell out of it. I guess it's the way artists are, you know. Vasila is a kind of a witch person. Family food. So this is about the McGoth crew. The McGoth crew are basically like parodies of the McDonald land, like Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar and Grimace and all that stuff. Um, and it's kind of funny that Ronald McDonald is no longer visible in the UK, but still here in the US for like Ronald McDonald's House of Charity, but not in the UK, and definitely not in commercials anymore. I haven't seen Ronald McDonald in a commercial in years, in maybe a decade. Burger Thug. You got all kinds of stuff in here. It's just so silly. There's like a lot of dialogue. These characters could talk forever if they had to. Um, the King of England. There's all kinds of. So this is the post-apocalypse, and Roth McGoth is talking in Morse code. The Misfits. These are dealing with characters who live in East LA or go to school, and so we go from the United Kingdom to America, to California, to Los Angeles. Friends of mine. These are different chapters. And there's a preview. There's a free preview in, I think, in Amazon for this stuff. I'm proud of the work I've done, but I'm not proud of it because I did even better than this. And the way I wanted to tell the story, I'm like George Lucas, changing my mind all the time. The way I wanted to tell the story, I had to do even better than I've ever done. All these chapters. Yeah, so we go over the characters, and Missy dies because Jerry shoots her, Drake's cousin. There's a lot in here. The Outcasters Gallery. Now this is gallery. I will show this in color later. I'll show everything that I have. This is art that I stuck inside the book. So the left page would have the captions, the right would have the actual art. And yeah, so this anniversary is more about me and what I've accomplished. Maybe you created a book, maybe you wrote a book, or you published an art piece or a magazine. Somebody I knew had a poem. She didn't do very well, and this is the girl I dated who banged her own cousin, her male cousin. Won't say who she is, but she published a poem. And, she's not very popular. She's got her own book club, very narcissistic, very type A personality. I don't get hard about women who are type A personalities. It just means you're going to be a cunt the rest of the time. There's other characters. The Circus Freaks, who are based on the Circus Freaks that I created back in '97. So go through these ones. So each chapter is about different characters, different people. It's like a mosaic. It's like a different parts of life. Like in The Simpsons, if one chapter is about Bart Simpson, the next chapter is about Hans Moleman, the next one's about Ned Flanders, and then Nelson Muntz, and then the comic book guy, then Mr. Burns. That's kind of what I'm doing here. But there's a post-apocalypse that happens. There's an alien from another planet. It's the same thing as what I did with the Grim Planet story, and then the other two books. And those 3 books I never self-published. I just put it up on here on YouTube. I think that's the best as far as writing my own characters and stuff. I am creating a newer version where they have lived all these lives, and now they're in this one Earth. So who knows what'll come out of that. It's my own work, so I can DMCA myself if I need to. We got all this stuff here, Moses. So we're going through all these. Notice that I do use different fonts. And I use Japanese, as you can see there. He says sugoi. Old episodes of, anime Fantastic Children. Yeah, this is where characters know each other years later, but you can't figure out. I think in the end, looking back, this book was too obscure. You have to follow exactly where to follow. It's kind of like the stories in Fallout, the board game. Remember the board game? But there's a Fallout storylines that branch out into different paths. And if unless you have a good photographic memory, you couldn't follow everybody. We got, yeah, all this stuff here that has to deal with Rai, Japanese language. So we'll go about through 5 more minutes of this, I think, because I don't think I want to lose everybody's attention. Everybody's good. Wake up, don't go to sleep. Because again, this stuff took me about a year and a half. I think I started, how would I put this, early 2010, and then I kept going up until November, like so shortly before November 2011, then they published it. And I had to switch publishers and advisors. It's not easy to self-publish a book, but I wanted to do it the way I felt I needed to do it. And this is before, YouTube. I published my first video on YouTube in 2015, but like I said, and then I did my book before in 2007, graduated from college in 2003, didn't do a whole lot. I mean, if you ever saw me back then, you might have noticed my art. You would say something and then pass by like I didn't exist. That's how it is. But books last forever. So I got more. This is Rosemary's origin. Yeah, notice that I use like different mimetic things. I make words out of circles because I didn't want the book to just be about paragraphs. Especially like when I write an action scene, I'm writing an action scene. Like the ball goes over Jesus's head and over, and lands on Jorge's head, something like that. Jorge's big head. So you can see, boom, it lands on Jorge's head. So gives good kick in the shins. Jorge was mistreated as a child in this one. The fictional Jorge, not the real one. I based these on real people. Cause I didn't want to base my characters on actors and beautiful people. Then I don't have any. So here's Jorge walking in a lap very slowly, in a lap around and around the entire field, but he would rather much go to sleep. Yeah. So stuff like this, I can do that. I can write like this. Cause I didn't just want to do one thing or the other. I wanted to do it the way I felt it was going to work. If I had presented this to a book club, they would have. It's like that analogy where Bart Simpson has the joke "Todd smells." Like remember when the parents weren't good enough and they had to live with the Flanders, Bart and Lisa and Maggie. So Bart's got the news. The news is the fake newspaper. It says Todd smells, and then Todd and Rod are like, I don't know about this. Where's your source? Do you have a credible source to this thing here? So when I went to the writing club, creative writing, I would go to these clubs near Hollywood and Burbank and the entertainment area, okay? And I get these people and they kind of go, okay, I do not understand this. Like, what don't you understand? Like they just have their monocles on or their opera glasses or whatever, and they're just looking at it like they can't understand what I'm writing. Even though what I'm writing is pretty much human story, East LA Council. So each chapter has something to it. I would write an opening teaser flavor text to this every time. This is 25 pages, this one chapter I remember now. Gino, so Drake, Rye, Gino, Rosemary, and Jorge, the original 5 characters I created back in 2000. Yeah, I have a checker chessboard there. Little things I did all this stuff, and I really, really wanted the stories, the chapters to really go somewhere. Because people are just short attention span. They're not going to pay attention for that long. Okay, as it is, if you've been holding on this long for almost 14 minutes, good on you. Get your friends to subscribe, maybe. I got musical notes in here. A giant head. Let me see. All this stuff. Look at this. Too many chapters. But I've kind of sorted it out better. I think I got better at writing after a time. Alien Pawns, beginnings of the end. So I would have like a teasing flavor text, beginnings of the end. So there's a storm, and this is drops of rain. This is how the devastation happens. It's toxic rain. What is all this? So Angels of Light. This is 2040. This is the last chapter in which we meet all these people from the future, which is Green Pueblo, basically. The Mexican Avengers. So let's, 15 minutes in, let's go ahead and zip to the end if we can here. I'm going to fast forward all this stuff, all these things, the cat, there's all these, Pablo Montenegro, Gina Convencione, which is based on Gina Carano. I think I had this little funny shape here. Hold on. There's a slot machine, tumbles, yeah, stumbles. I had it. There you go. That's her punching and kicking. It took me a while to make that shape, by the way, and I did that myself. Next time, if I ever have to publish a book, I gotta get that JPEG, not JPEG, PDF file. And let's go to the end. Let's go to the end. Let's go to the end. 700 pages in almost 16 minutes. Shapes here, Roman soldier. So Roman is down. This is the last chapter. Jalila. Ashley. All these different characters. Everybody knows each other eventually. So I have like so many people who know each other. Afterward, I started work. So March 9, 2010. Since that time, I worked nonstop with, okay, so this is something I wrote in August 31st, 2011. Okay, I'll read this to you, okay? I started working the Outcasters Society of Short Stories, or the O Universe, on March 9, 2010. Since that time, I worked nonstop with tiny writer's blocks to stop me. Usually an author will have ghost writers or professional artists who are renowned for their great illustrations or to complement his or her writing. I can honestly say that all the work is mine. I did the writing and the art, but my publishers gladly helped me along to physically put this together and distribute so that you can hold this book, PC, electronic copy, tablet, whichever, in your hands. I came up against many obstacles. My father, my mother, I guess I don't have mothers, because my sister would act like my mother. My older sisters, bullies at school, wannabe gang members, and ungrateful girlfriends to get to where I am today. I am no saint. I do not pretend to be a saint. I go by the experiences, the trials, the tribulations brought before me by the people in the hundreds who wanted to challenge me, the many who despised me, and the few who actually respected me. This is my last book, unless you do something about it. The part-time work, the wages are not enough to take care of me and pay the publishing fees to make the next book. The production of this book cost me money, a lot of money. This is true. So, I mean, if people wanted to buy the book, I could have made another book. So, I wanted to add more, but was not able to, including the character of Rascal Brown, the Devastators, the Angels of New Day, and the other half of the gallery, music, and the alternate universe, which I hinted at. With that said, it's up to you. If after reading the Outcasters, do you feel you got cheated out of 700 pages in money you could have used to buy a digital video disc or whatever Hollywood film, burn this book now. But if you actually got exactly what you paid for and more, please, I implore you, tell your friends, your brothers, sisters, cousins, parents, grandparents. This is a great book for kids starting high school and having issues you'd rather not discuss directly with them. It is also for one of social injustice in troubled times. And this is before social justice warriors and shit. The more books I sell, the more books I make. I cannot do this without you. Thank you to Author House for your loyal support. Maestro. And P.S. If you wish to find my entire art portfolio, including work on the Circus Freaks, there's my website, DeviantArt. I don't really use DeviantArt much anymore, but I think that is the end. That is the end. So let me show you some art. This is actually the cover to the second book that I never finished. This is like, you see the Angels of New Day and the Outcaster characters, the vampires and stuff, Vampire Universe. Another Society of Short Stories. This is the second book, Agents of Hate, Sunny Salon, The Redeemers, Middle East Side, Outcasters Gallery, The Skull Bashers. So this would have been the second book. Go through this glossary really quick. The Devastators, the Incasters. It's the Outcasters transformed. Angels of New Day, musical themes, The Virtual You, just all kinds of weird shit. Like DVD extras, I wanted to have like all kinds of stuff. So that's what was in here, and more stuff. We'll go about another few seconds of this. But yeah, there's a lot. There's sign language in here too. I had all kinds of cultures. Virtue signaling, identity politics, I do a bit of it here. But let me be clear that I don't put a trophy to anybody. I don't talk to you like you're stupid. This is football stuff. I try to find the beauty in everything that I see and learn about. Okay? People think that I just do board games or I just do memes. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm actually pretty smart. I look like a dumbass, you know. They see intelligent white people on YouTube and they think, oh yeah, this guy knows all the stuff and all these things. Like, I'm probably older than Tom Vassell. I think I'm the same age or older or a bit young. I think we're about the same age, Tom Vassell. But Tom Vassell doesn't look like a degenerate. Okay, you look at Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower, and you think he knows Murder She Wrote and Ellery Queen and Macmillan and Wife, and he's like he was born in 1950 and stuff. He looks like that kind of old man. And you look at me and think he's kind of old, but he doesn't know stuff. No, I do know stuff. That's the thing. I know stuff. That's what bothers people. It's like I know things, but I don't look like I know things. I just look like a dumbass. What was I going to show you here? Oh, the back of the book. This is the back of the book. Okay. So I took all these different groups. Since 1995, I set out as an artist to create characters who were hideous, strange, and did not fit within normal boundaries. This is in the back of the book that if you bought it. Of modern society. The circus freaks, my first creations, are such examples of dehumanizing humans, placing them in a world where they are not accepted by the majority and must push their way uphill to gain power. After 15 years of creating many people, places, and things based on the real world, publishing books, including this one, I came to an epiphany. Who you are in relation to someone else depends not on skin color, age, religion, social preference, sexual preference, language, biology, country, or planet. These short stories contain individual lives of those you are familiar with in one social category or another, as opposed to those of your neighbor, family member, significant partner, your enemies, and those unlikely you've never met. In the end, a galaxy of prosperity comes with the efforts of all who are related because they are unrelated, and that's exactly what this book is about, the related to unrelated. All right, some final thoughts while we look at the art. This is the original logo, or this is actually the updated logo from 2007 to 2011. These are the arms that I used. I'm proud of what I did, but ashamed at the same time because I felt if I was a little bit more mature, I could have done better. I guess every artist says that, right? These were done on a computer. I'll let you know which art is the art that was done by hand. But each arm that you see is an individual person, and then they're formed into circles. And let me see if there's something else here. Hold on. Yeah, those are the Devastators, I think. Drake's arm. Those are the Dust Bunnies. That's Vassila? Not Vassila. I can't remember. Ember Sudek. Now, this is the art I did by hand, and all this art is meant to go in one circle from left to right. They're all connected to each other, but I didn't connect them very well. But these are all the people I created from 1997 to 2011, and then there's maybe one or two more I created extra, but I think everybody that I've ever drawn is in here. They're all in here. That's the cover to the book. There's more stuff. So you can see here, they're all connected to each other by one like panorama. So it's actually 10 pieces total. The Outcasters universe, all these different people, aliens, that's Jesus. There's different people. I kind of recognize everybody. Jorge, Huicho, all these people. Kaleido, that's Kamau, that's Cameron, Kavi. God, I can remember all these people. Missy, that's Kelly. Yeah, all these things. All these characters. Way back, way back. And there's the original logo that goes on the book. Yeah, this is so much work, so much time. Fall 2010. Well, that's why I originally wanted to come out 2010. It didn't happen, so I moved it to spring, and I had to write more stuff. I really pushed this book to the limit. I really wasted no time. All this stuff, all these things. There's a 1978 version. Those of you who are familiar with station identification, ABC, you kind of know what this might be. If you're not, don't worry about it. But yeah, because I was born in 78, it's familiar to me. And all these characters. So that's all I wanted to really show. I'm not sure if I'm going back in a loop here. Yeah. So that's about it. I'm really happy with, I got to share this with everyone. Happy 10th anniversary to me. The link for my book is below, and I'll put a link for Grim Planet, Gray Patriarchy, and Green Pueblo, the last version, incarnations of these characters.